Hello everyone, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today I took out my owl coloring book and we are going to color another page. This one is different because a long time ago I did start this page and I never finished it. And now because of the new style I colored one of the previous pages in, I wanted to try it out on this page. The last page from this coloring book that I worked on, I did tear out and glue into my sketchbook, but this time I want to work directly in the coloring book and finish all the pages and leave them in the coloring book. And that is just so all these pieces will be in the same place. The color scheme I started with was pink and yellow. So added some oranges and greens because they're similar to the other colors. I really like taking my nail stencils and rubbing around paint. I really think it made a cool print and I'm happy with how it turned out. These types of coloring pages tend to get really messy because I'm mostly using my fingers. And if I remember right, by the end of this, I had my hands completely covered in paint and marker. It's always so satisfying to peel off the nail stickers, especially like the one that left a little check print. Sadly, part of that did rip off the coloring page, but I'll fix that later. I also took out a plastic fork and tried to make marks all over the page. It didn't work out exactly how I envisioned. Next, I also took out bubble wrap, and that didn't really work out either. But I still worked with it, and I really like how this page turned out in the end. Next, I took out my color pencil and I started adding shading. I feel like this step really made the owls stand out. Really wanted to define their wings because I felt like the paint kind of let that sink back in and make them disappear. Another thing I like to do for these pages is use my alcohol markers to add shading too. It helps me apply a lot of color quickly over big areas. I also took out my Poscas and added lots of random dots throughout this piece. After I'd used the orange, I also took out my dark red Posca. I used this to add lots of dashes along the wing of this one owl. I also used my Artex paint markers to add lots of fun details, and I even colored in some of the areas of the coloring page that were still showing. Next, I took out a marker, but I didn't use it to color. Instead, I dipped its cap in paint and started making little circles everywhere. One of my favorite things to do with these is add the circles around the eyes, because it makes the eyes look different and really cool. Next, I took out my alcohol markers again and I started adding just random details and coloring in parts of the coloring page. Next, I took out a paintbrush and added little highlights with my white paint. This is probably my favorite part of this whole coloring process. I also added lots of white little textures and dots around this whole page as well. And finally, this piece was done. So here's how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.